How's it going, everyone? Back here with another video. And I'm going to be back at you with another EcoFlow related video today. So what we're going to be focusing on in this video is this big box here, which is the EcoFlow Delta 3 Ultra unit, which is part of EcoFlow's new lineup of power stations that they recently came out with. I don't want to get into the naming situation because the new names and the naming scheme of the new power stations are absolutely horrendous in my opinion, and it is incredibly spread out in the amount of different options and or models that they now have to choose from. It's really complicated. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. So the reason we see three boxes here, so we see this smaller one right here, and then this one here, which is a 45 watt Type C solar panel. All three of these essentially came in a single bundle. I'll be making two separate videos highlighting, going over these two other devices. But basically, the order I initially placed, it was about a Black Friday deal essentially that included that 45 watt Type C solar panel. So I knew that was coming. However, this device here, the Trail DC200, which is basically a small-sized little DC-only power bank that you use to charge your phones or laptops and things like that. This basically was a surprise because it was not initially listed on the order page when I placed the order initially. Anyways, so enough rambling on. In this video, we are focusing on the main unit, which is the Delta 3 Ultra. I'm going to be using this in my RV as a off-grid power solution, essentially. I'm going to be connecting some solar panels onto the roof of my RV and connecting them into this unit. And then this unit is going to basically live underneath my the couch within the trailer. So once I get all of that sorted out and built and this unit installed, I will actually, I might make another video going over and showing that a little bit. Anyway, here is the top of it. We got this, and there is the unit right on top. And then we also get the quick start guide, so it gives you some information on how to use the unit. And then there it is right there. It's actually fairly large and really, really heavy. So, all right, so here we are. It is now out of the box. That's really heavy. It's almost 100 pounds. I think it comes in at about 80 pounds, just the unit by itself, not including all the packaging and everything. So pretty heavy unit. So then you also get this one little box that includes a few items, such as your charging cable. And that's actually it. I thought there was another cable in there, but there is not. So all you do get in the box with this unit is your AC charging cable. One thing you'll notice is that you don't get anymore is the car charging cable. So if you wanted to charge this via your car's cigarette lighter port, you can still do that. You just have to now purchase that cable separately, which for a unit of this size, charging it at a maximum of about 96 watts through your car charger is pretty impractical. That's pretty much not going to do a whole lot in terms of charging this. So you're going to be better off getting an alternator charger or something like that if you want to plan to use this or charge it within your vehicle. Flipping it up on end, this is where your primary AC ports and your screen are going to be, which is on the front of the unit. So you do get four 120 volt AC outlets, as well as a true 30 amp RV outlet as well. Again, that is the exact reason right there why I got this particular unit, because of that 30 amp output and the fact that my RV, the plug it uses is a 30 amp connection. So to be able to have that and plug that directly into here without having to use some sort of an adapter to adapt it down into the standard plug size is great. And then because of this too, with the 30 amp, I'll be able to run my air conditioner, the microwave, and things like that with absolutely no problem at all. Considering that this inverter on this particular unit is a 3600 watt sustained load. So you can basically have a load of up to 3,600 watts continuous, which is pretty substantial. So basically the air conditioner and say the microwave and thing could be running at the same time without any issue through this particular inverter, which is great. But it also has, I believe, over 7,000 watt surge capability. So if you have a heavy duty air conditioner or a high powered power tool or something that needs a large amount of surge to initially get running, it again should be able to cover that just fine. And then we have the USB ports. So we have three USB-C, one of which is a high power delivery port at 140 watts. And then the other two are 45 watts split between both of them. And then we have an 18 watt standard USB type A. Again, only one of those. So if you need more, so you'll probably have to get some kind of a powered USB A hub if you want to expand that type of a connection on there, which is pretty much not going to be needed. Then we have our screen, our buttons here. We have our power button. We have a fake button right here in the middle that doesn't seem to do anything. It's just an aesthetic piece. And then we have the AC on and off, which will turn the inverter side here on or off. And then also on the front, we have this pretty neat suitcase handle that extends out and locks into place. So you can roll it around because this does have wheels built in, which I'll show you in just a second once I flip it around. But yeah, this handle is made out of complete metal. I mean, it's a full metal handle. There's no plastic at all on it, other than this button in the middle. The button, I believe, is plastic, but the outside and rest of the handle is actually all metal, which is great. So it should be fairly durable. And then it locks back into place like that and doesn't pop out on its own, which is also really nice. Okay, so here is the back of the unit now, and here are those wheels that I just mentioned earlier. Again, it does come with smooth rotating wheels to allow you to roll it around really easily, so you don't have to actually carry it from place to place, which is really nice. Then there is this little foot down here on the bottom, which essentially lifts it up slightly. So when you have it laying or setting flat, this raises it up off of these wheels. So if you have it setting and you're in a moving trailer or a car, it's not going to roll around on its own. Because the previous model, the Delta Pro unit, I believe, it rests on the wheels and could have a tendency to slide around on its own with some external movement. So it's nice that that has been added. Then up here, we have this little door, which also can be pushed in to get it out of the way. Which is pretty cool. Very little ports actually up here. So we have our AC input to charge from a wall outlet or a generator. Then we have a switch to adjust from fast or slow charging, depending on if you want to limit it. Say you're on a limited AC connection and you do not want it to pull the full 1,800 watts of charging capability, you could put it and lock it into the slow charge mode so you don't trip a breaker or something like that. But in most cases, leaving it on the fast charge mode and then customizing it within the EcoFlow app will be completely fine as well. And then we have our MPPT solar charge port. Again, that can also be used as through that car charging as well. Again, not recommended because of how large this battery is. And then we have the 11 to 60 volt maximum and an 18 amp max as well. So being that this only does have a single XT60 port on it, if you want to max it out at the full 800 watts of solar that this is capable of handling, you're going to have to wire your panels in probably a series parallel configuration to kind of get as close to that 800 watts as possible. But anyway, so that's, in my case, I'm probably going to be doing that. I have a couple panels that I'm going to be wiring in a specific way to get probably in the ballpark of about 500 watts. But anyway, so that's that. And then down here we have the little 12 volt port, which is great for 12 volt fridges. That's primarily what I use this port for, is because my 12 volt fridge uses this particular connector. So it's nice to have that still on here. And then you have your little button to turn that particular port on and off. Okay, real quick, we're gonna turn the device on and just see what kind of battery capacity it's got straight out of the box. And it looks like we have 30%. And what you're going to notice is the display is pretty much very similar, or effectively the same as previous Delta 3 units from the past, such as the Delta 3 and the Delta 3 Plus. All have this same display. And for some reason, the inverter automatically kicked itself on. I'm not entirely sure why that happened. So there must be some sort of a setting that's enabled by default that does that. Anyway, so yeah, you just have your basics here. You have your input wattage, your output wattage on the right side there, and then your battery capacity in percentage in the middle, as well as a little indicator at the top that shows you how many hours, minutes, or days you have left to be able to run whatever load you have running. So anyway, that is it for this initial look at the Delta 3 Ultra. Again, very strange name considering. But yeah, so I'll provide a link to this in the description below for anyone that is interested in this particular power station. And I will obviously have more videos to come featuring this power station once I have it installed into my RV. Doing some power tests, seeing what it can run in the RV, how many things I can run at once before overloading the inverter, all that good stuff. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed. Hit that like button down below. It is greatly appreciated. The subscribe button as well is also much appreciated. Helps the channel out, and I'm really trying to hopefully at some point get to 100,000 subscribers. It's a long way off, but I'll eventually get there. And if you guys have any questions or comments or just want to talk about this particular unit, drop those down below and we can have a little bit of a discussion. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Extra 2x2 boards are for, so you can kind of see what, get an idea what that's going to do. Here, I've now added a couple of eye bolts to this little bit of a support. So now we're pretty much done, almost done. So I just have to finish buttoning up this cross member beam.